Hello, and welcome to the Infront Consulting Group demo of the OpsLogix Oracle Management Pack. We will start with an overview of the out-of-the-box dashboards, views, and tasks, followed by a brief demonstration of the custom query rules and monitor templates. Let's move on to the demo. Like most management packs, the first view provided is the All Alerts view. This view will show us all warning and critical alerts generated by Oracle instances and components. As you can see here, I have one critical alert generated by the Oracle Query Sample Monitor. This monitor was created using the custom query monitor template, which we'll cover later in the demonstration. The next view is the Instance Performance view. This view provides a really good amount of performance data that we can use for root cause analysis, trending, or whatever the requirement may be. We can access this data simply by checking the box next to the counter. In this case, I will choose Active User Sessions. And you can see that the data populates immediately in the Instance Performance field. As I scroll down, you can see that there really is a lot of good performance metrics provided out of the box, which is really helpful. It's also worth noting that any metric that I can see here can be used in dashboards and reporting, which is really cool. It's also worth noting that the time range that we're viewing can be changed. Now, this time range relates directly with the data retention settings that you've set in the Operations Manager database. So if we've only set the data retention for 3 days, which in large environments is common, we can only see 3 days of data here. If we've set it to 7 days, then we can see 7 days of data here. And you can really get as granular as you need to get with this. As you can see here, we have 3 days. We can set this down to 1 and change this to hour, and we can see the last hour of data. So that's helpful as well. The instance view shows us the health state of our Oracle instances. By right-clicking my instance and opening Health Explorer, I'm able to see which monitor is causing the instance to be in a critical state. In this case, once again, it is my custom query sample monitor, so I'm not concerned. If I click the X to unscope this view, I can see all of the monitors that are targeting the Oracle instance. I highly recommend, when you import the management pack, that you come in here and really explore the different monitors and the thresholds that are set, and make sure that it's set to values that benefit you in your environment. Let's take a look at the Oracle diagram view. The diagram view gives a different perspective and object model view into each Oracle instance. This view is helpful to visualize how the health of individual objects roll up, in addition to providing a visual diagram of object components so we can easily pinpoint which component of the instance is unhealthy. You can see as I open up the different levels of this topology, we start seeing the different objects that make up a Oracle database instance. We have our redo log files, our backup state, we have our control files, and we can see them in a topology object model perspective where I can take one look at this diagram and see where the problem lies. Is it a problem with the table space object, the system object, or is it a problem perhaps with the backup state that's causing our top level health to go critical? It's an easy way to kind of drill into the health of the entire topology. The next view is backup state, which is self-explanatory. I'll open this up. And we have quite a few different backups here: archive log backup, backup set, control file backup, etc. And each one of these will change to a warning state when the backup is older than 24 hours. Let's get to the dashboards. I think these are really cool. Out of the box, we're provided with 3 dashboards: an instance dashboard, a memory dashboard, and a storage dashboard. The first 2 dashboards are very similar. We're provided with 3 performance widgets and 3 top-end widgets. The performance widgets are performance graphs that show us active user sessions, SQL cache hit ratio percentage, and buffer hit ratio percentage. As you can see here, very helpful. That one-stop shop, single pane of glass. I want to see my instance health at a glance and be able to see if there's a problem. If we have, 10, 15 databases in here, then we'll be able to see if one of them is peaking. As far as the top end, you can't really tell here, but I'll show you in the storage dashboard. You'll get a better picture of how this will look with multiple databases. But the lowest SQL cache hit ratio percentage, we'd have the lowest value at top, and then all of the other values below it. So we can use that almost as a capacity trending perspective. The memory dashboard has the exact same layout, different counters. We're using free memory large pool, free memory shared pool, and total PGA in use. And once again, the top-end dashboards. And for storage, you'll see here that all 4 of the top widgets are top-end, and you can really get a clearer picture of what that will look like with multiple databases. At the bottom, under storage, we have control file state, data file state, data file temp state, redo log file state, and several other state views. These state views, similar to the instance state view above, are going to give us the health of these particular objects. Let's go ahead and take a look at the query templates. The query templates provided by the Management Pack are one of the coolest features in my opinion. These 3 templates, alert rule, performance collection rule, and 2-state monitor, give us the ability to query our databases against a value, and in the case of the monitor, change the state of the object and alert. In the case of the performance collection rule, collect the data and be able to report on it or look in the performance views. And in the case of the alert rule, alert. I've already created a sample here, and it's using a very, very basic query, a query that I can manipulate very easily to generate a critical alert, which is the point of the demonstration. In your case, you would be using something a lot more helpful than this. But you can see by entering a simple query, the return column name, I'm targeting instance, critical greater than 2. So if the value is greater than 2, I turn critical. And a simple alert, I have a new monitor. It's very easy to create. The same goes with the Oracle Performance Collection rule. We'll click Next, enter a name. We'll just call it Oracle Test. My override management pack. Let's do, once again, Oracle Test. A very simple query. Return status. And we would create. And that would be it. And then once we create this, we would be collecting that value for that counter. It's that simple to create. Lastly, the alert rule, and that would be pretty much the exact same as the monitor, except we wouldn't be comparing on a threshold, we would be alerting on a threshold. And just to distinguish between the two, the monitor changes state. So we would look at the instance in the instance state view. That monitor turned that state of that instance critical. If it were an alert rule, we would have alerted, but it would not have affected the state. So that's something to keep in mind if you're new to SCUM. Let's take a quick look at dashboards. I have my Oracle Test dashboard here. I've already created with 4 widgets, and they're blank. Now, I mentioned earlier that we could use the data that we collect to publish into dashboards and reports, as well as the performance view. Let's go do that. So I'll create a performance widget. Let's call it, stick with our naming convention, which is not best practice. And we will do let's try this one. Okay, our visualization has been created. And this should only take a minute or two, and then we should have our performance graph. And as you'll see, it's very easy to create this. See, here we go. Here's our performance graph. It's that easy. So if we create the custom collections or use the data that is already pulled in by default, which is quite a bit, we can use the out-of-the-box dashboards. I think they're great. But we can also come in here and create our own dashboards very easily that maybe provide a little more of what we're looking for in our own environment. Lastly, one more thing I'd like to point out is the instance task, also provided out of the box by the management pack. Over here we have query blocking session, query invalid objects, query top 10 cluster wait time, and more. We can go ahead, query blocking session, click run. And we've got our data here. I don't have anything right now because once again this database is not being used, but you could really use this to drill in and troubleshoot an issue without even having to go to the database itself. So that's very helpful. Let's see if there's any of these that will provide us data. Here we go. Query top 10 queries by CPU gives us data, and you can actually see the queries that qualify into the top 10. So once again, something very helpful that we can use to troubleshoot. Okay, that's the end of our OpsLogix Oracle Management Pack demo. Thank you very much for joining.